Most couples dream of retiring together, but very few actually do. They get stuck in jobs they don't love. They save for a future that keeps slipping away. They follow the traditional path, and it fails them. But what if you could break free? What if you could retire in just 10 years? That's exactly what Robert and Kim Kiyosaki did. And today on The Passive Path, you'll learn how they did it and how you can too. Before we start, hit like, subscribe, and share your financial freedom goal in the comments. Let's get into it. When couples get married, they often skip one critical conversation. They talk about love. They talk about family. But they rarely talk about money. Not just bills and spending, but real financial goals. Robert and Kim didn't make that mistake. From day one, they had a plan. They didn't want to work hard until they were 65. They didn't want to rely on jobs or retirement accounts. They wanted freedom, and they gave themselves just 10 years to get it. Most people would think that's impossible, but Robert and Kim had something different. They focused on skills, not degrees, not promotions. Skills. That's what makes people rich, and they knew it. Robert's first major skill? Don't realize the risk they're taking by not having the right legal structure in place. If you don't set up a proper entity, a lawsuit could put everything you own in jeopardy. Protecting yourself from lawsuits is just as important as protecting yourself from taxes. When it comes to minimizing taxes and protecting your assets, working with the right advisors is crucial. You can't do it all on your own, especially as your financial situation becomes more complex. A qualified accountant and a good attorney are essential for creating a strategy that works for you. They'll help you understand the different tax benefits available to your business and personal assets. But not all advisors are the same. You need advisors who know how to work together. Accountants and lawyers who communicate with each other to ensure your strategy is solid. Having the right team of professionals can save you a lot of money and prevent costly mistakes. The more qualified your advisors are, the better your chances of legally reducing your tax burden. The key to building wealth and minimizing taxes is to move from the left side of the cash flow quadrant to the right side. If you're an employee or small business owner, you're on the left side, where taxes are higher. The goal is to move to the right side, where big business owners and investors pay much lower taxes. Big business owners pay around 20% in taxes, and investors often pay little to nothing in taxes. To make that shift, you need to get educated and start taking action. It's not enough to just know the theory. You need to implement the strategies. Understanding how taxes work on the right side of the quadrant is critical to your success. If you want to build wealth and reduce your tax burden, you must move from the E and S side to the B and I side. One common mistake is buying assets just to avoid taxes. People often buy real estate or luxury items because they think it will help them reduce their taxes. But that's not the right approach. Buying something you don't need simply to avoid taxes can actually cost you more in the long run. For example, if you buy a car or a piece of real estate just for tax purposes, you may end up spending more money than you save. Instead of focusing on tax avoidance, focus on the investment itself. Look at the return on investment, the value of the asset, and how it fits into your overall strategy. Only after you've made a sound investment decision should you consider the tax benefits. Never buy an asset purely to lower your tax bill. It's not a smart financial move. Now that you understand the basics, it's time to take action. Here are practical steps you can start taking today to legally reduce your taxes and protect your wealth. First, educate yourself. The more you know about into that bank, their financial statement spoke louder than words. The bank saw they knew what they were doing. They had a track record. They had a plan. They had skills. That's why the bank said yes. The lesson? Money follows skill, not the other way around. Next, let's talk about what they refused to do, and why that mattered even more than what they did. Robert and Kim refused to believe in sacrifice. That word wasn't in their vocabulary. They didn't give up things they loved. They made choices that aligned with their goals. When people asked what they sacrificed, Robert had a simple answer: nothing. Instead of sacrifice, they focused on learning. They took classes. They studied real estate. They practiced selling and negotiating. They didn't waste time with people who lacked ambition. They chose their friends carefully. Their circle included advisors and motivated individuals, not people who spent hours watching television or scrolling endlessly. Your environment shapes your success. If you surround yourself with people who complain and make excuses, you'll do the same. If you surround yourself with people building wealth, you'll rise with them. That's what Robert and Kim did. They didn't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They didn't blame others. They didn't adopt a victim mentality. They took full responsibility for their future. Robert openly rejected narratives that encourage victimhood. He knew that blaming others leads to weakness. Taking ownership leads to power. It didn't matter where they started. It mattered where they were going. Robert had faced challenges. He understood discrimination and setbacks. But he refused to let them define him. He chose to focus on what he could control: his skills, his actions, his mindset. That's a choice everyone can make, no matter your background, no matter your past. The passive path is built on that belief. Your past does not dictate your future. Your choices do. Robert also rejected common financial advice. He didn't believe in living below his means. Why shrink your life when you can expand it? Most financial planners tell you to save money and spend less, but saving alone won't build wealth. Cutting expenses has limits. Expanding income does not. Robert and Kim focused on expanding their means. They acquired assets that produced cash flow. When they needed more income, they didn't cut back. They bought more assets. For example, when they wanted extra money, they found a mini storage business. They negotiated a no-money-down deal. That single investment added $25,000 a month to their income. That's $300,000 a year. And they repeated that process regularly. Most people rely on one income stream: their job. Robert and Kim built multiple streams. Cash flow came from real estate, from businesses, from investments. Over time, their income grew faster than they could spend it. They used the surplus to support charitable causes. But it all started with skills and smart choices, not sacrifice. That's the passive path. Before we wrap up, remember to like this video, subscribe for more real-world wealth strategies, and comment below. What's your financial freedom date? We read every comment and love hearing from you. Keep building. Keep learning. Your financial freedom is closer than you think. Done. Do you like this personality? The most common question people ask is simple: what's the first step? The answer is also simple. Decide what skills you will master. Pick one and commit. If you're new to selling, start there. Learn to communicate value. Practice making offers. Study negotiation. If you already sell, learn to raise capital. Talk to investors. Learn how to present deals. If you're ready for real estate, take a course. Learn the basics of property evaluation. Understand debt structures. Don't try to learn everything at once. Pick one skill, master it, then move to the next. This is how Robert and Kim built momentum. One skill at a time, one deal at a time, one success at a time. Consistency beats speed. You also need to track your progress. Update your financial statement every month. Watch your cash flow grow. Notice which assets perform best. Adjust as needed. Stay flexible. Wealth building is not a straight line. It's a series of adjustments. As you grow, new opportunities will appear. Be ready to act. That's why skills matter, not just to start, but to adapt, to expand, to overcome challenges. You will face setbacks. Everyone does. Robert and Kim did too. What matters is how you respond. Most people quit, winners learn, they adjust, and they keep going. This mindset is key. Without it, no plan will work. With it, almost any plan can succeed. And remember, you are not alone. The Passive Path community is here. We focus on practical strategies, real skills, real assets, real results. No theories, no empty promises, only what works. If you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe to stay updated, and comment your #1 skill goal. We want to hear from you. Now, let's go deeper into the 3 biggest traps that stop most people from ever building wealth, and how to avoid them. The first trap is living below your means. It sounds responsible, but it creates a scarcity mindset. You focus on cutting costs, not creating income. You shrink your life instead of expanding it. Robert and Kim refused this trap. When they needed more income, Robert and Kim didn't cut back. They acquired assets that produced cash flow, providing more income and more freedom. That's the right focus. The second trap is fearing debt. Most people believe all debt is bad. They avoid it completely, but that fear limits growth. Robert and Kim learned to use good debt that paid for itself and funded cash-flowing assets. Without debt, their growth would have been slow or impossible. They used debt wisely, and it accelerated their wealth. The third trap is listening to poor advice. Most financial planners promote saving and conservative investments, which may not lead to significant wealth building. Feel free to explore other videos on the channel. They're here to support and guide you. See you in the next video.